China has built something that could make the regular toilet obsolete. Not a better version of what you have now, a completely different kind of machine that asks why toilets need to be stuck to the floor at all. In 2026, a Chinese company called Yuan showed off a device called the Shaoban at a huge care expo in Shanghai. It looks like a small chair on wheels, but it is really a self-driving toilet. You call it with your voice or a button. It rolls to your bedside. You use it right there. Then it cleans itself, empties the waste, and drives back to charge its battery. No human help needed. No pipes where you sit. No walk down a dark hallway at 3 in the morning. Why does this matter so much? China has over 223 million people aged 65 and older. Getting to the bathroom at night is one of the most dangerous things an older person can do. Falls in bathrooms send hundreds of thousands of seniors to emergency rooms every year. The short walk between a bed and a toilet is where the danger lives. This machine takes that walk away. If you like videos like this, please hit the like button. It takes a lot of effort to make these. And subscribe so you do not miss the next one. What you are about to see is an invention that challenges something. Humans have done the same way for 250 years. And the reason China is the country pushing this right now might surprise you more than the machine itself. A self-driving toilet called Shaoban. The Shaoban is the invention that could make the regular toilet obsolete. Music. Here is exactly what it does. You are in bed. It is the middle of the night. You need the bathroom. Instead of getting up and walking down a dark hallway, you press a button or say a word. The Shaoban wakes up. It rolls across the room to your bedside. You use it right there. When you are done, it seals the waste in a closed chamber. Then it drives itself to a docking station that connects to your home's pipes. A quiet grinder breaks everything down so nothing clogs. It flushes through normal plumbing. Then it washes itself, refills its water, and charges its battery, all without anyone lifting a finger. If your home does not have a dock with plumbing, the Shaoban has a backup plan. It can drive to a regular bathroom and use a small arm to pump waste into a normal toilet. That removes the hardest job a caregiver faces, handling someone else's waste by hand. The machine has a warm water bidet, a warm air dryer, and a UV light that kills germs after each use. A foam shield and charcoal filter stops smells from spreading. It has armrests and a backrest for safety. The buttons are big and simple enough for weak hands. The price is about 29,000 yuan, or around 4,000 US dollars. That is about the same as a nice washing machine. This could make the regular toilet obsolete for a simple reason. Every toilet in the world right now depends on two things. You have to walk to it, and it has to be connected to pipes. The Shaoban removes both of those needs. The toilet comes to you instead of you going to it, and the pipes are at the dock, not where you sit. The docking station handles the dirty work. You never see it. You never smell it. You never touch it. This is a real working product, not a concept drawing. But the machine is only the start of the story. To understand why it could change everything, you need to see what the toilet has been for 250 years, and why that system is finally breaking down. The same idea for 250 years. The toilet in your bathroom is older than you think. Not the actual bowl, the idea behind it. The way it works has not changed in over 250 years. You probably use it 5 times a day and never think about it. But the design goes back further than most countries. Flush toilets were not always around. The first one was built in England in the late 1500s by a man named John Harrington. His godmother was Queen Elizabeth I. Harrington wanted to solve a real problem. In those days, people used chamber pots or outhouses. There was no system for washing waste away with water inside a house. He designed a bowl that could hold water and a tank above it that would release a big rush of water to wash everything down. He built one for his own house and another for the Queen at her palace. But his invention had a serious flaw. The pipe under the bowl went straight down into a pit. There was nothing to stop the awful smell from floating back up into the room. People put up with the smell for almost 200 years because nobody could figure out how to fix it. The fix came from an unexpected person. In 1775, a Scottish watchmaker named Alexander solved the problem. He designed a pipe that curved like the letter S. The curve trapped a small pool of water in the bend. That little pool acted like a wall. It stopped bad air from rising up into the room. But when you flushed, the fresh water pushed the waste down through the curve and past the water wall. No motors, no valves, no parts that could break. Just the shape of the pipe doing all the work. That S-curve is still in your toilet today. The one you used this morning has the exact same trick inside it. Water goes in, waste goes down, gravity does the rest. Companies have added smoother porcelain, dual flush buttons, heated seats, built-in bidets, even Bluetooth speakers. But underneath every upgrade, the core machine is identical to the one coming designed in 1775. And that machine never moves. Once a builder bolts it to the floor, it stays there forever. Pipes hide under the house and carry waste away to a treatment plant you have probably never seen. The whole setup depends on pipes being in the walls and under the floors. It depends on a sewer system existing to take the waste, and it depends on you being able to walk to it every single time. Now think about the water this machine uses. Toilets drink more water than any other thing in your house. The EPA says they account for almost 30% of all water used inside a home. More than showers, more than washing machines, more than kitchen sinks. Old toilets can swallow up to 6 gallons every time you flush. Even the best new ones still use about 128 gallons. A family of 4 flushes about 20 times a day. That is over 25 gallons of clean water gone daily. Just to move waste through a few feet of pipe. If every old toilet in America alone was swapped for a new efficient one, the country would save over 260 billion gallons of water a year. That is roughly how much water tumbles over Niagara Falls. Clean, treated, drinkable water used to flush waste billions of times a day all over the planet. And that water has to be treated and pumped through pipes under pressure to reach your bathroom. In places where water is getting scarce, this is becoming a real problem. This system works great if you have pipes, sewers, and legs that carry you to the bathroom without any trouble. But for a growing number of people around the world, those things are no longer guaranteed. And that is exactly where the Shaoban stops being a neat gadget and becomes something that could change how billions of people live. Why China needs this right now. China is facing a problem that gets worse every single year. The country has more than 223 million people, aged 65 and older. That is about 16% of the entire population. And that share is growing fast. Some experts believe that within 10 years, more than 30% of China's people could be over 65. The country also has more than 320 million people aged 60 and above based on recent government numbers. The reason this is such a crisis goes back to a policy that shaped Chinese families for decades. For over 35 years, China had a rule that most families could only have one child. Now those one-child generations have grown up, and their parents are getting old. A single working adult might be responsible for 2 aging parents and 4 grandparents. There simply are not enough young people to go around. Researchers call this a caregiver crisis. More people need help every day, but there are not enough people to give that help. Getting to the bathroom is one of the scariest things an older person does every day. The National Institute on Aging says about 80% of falls among seniors happen in the bathroom. The CDC reports that around 235,000 people visit emergency rooms each year because of bathroom injuries. Most of those are falls. Among people over 65 who get hurt in bathrooms, about a third break a bone. Among people over 85, nearly 40% end up staying in the hospital. And what causes most of these falls? It is not the shower, it is getting on and off the toilet. The danger gets worse at night when the house is dark and the person is half asleep and their body is not steady. That short trip from bed to bathroom becomes the most risky thing they do all day. An older person who can cook, clean, and walk around during the day can still be in serious danger at 2 in the morning. The body is stiff. The mind is foggy. The floor is cold and hard. The distance between the bed and the toilet might only be 20 feet. But for someone with weak legs or poor balance, it might as well be a mile. A broken hip can mean surgery, months of recovery, and sometimes a permanent loss of independence. This is the exact problem the Shaoban was built to solve. It does not try to make a better flush. It attacks the walk. The machine comes to you so you never have to get out of bed and stumble through a hallway. No risk of falling. No need for someone to carry a bedpan in the middle of the night. In 2023, 17 different Chinese government ministries joined forces to speed up the development of assistive robots for elderly care. The Shaoban is not a random experiment. It is part of a national push that is only getting bigger. China is putting real money and talent into machines that can help older people stay independent. When there are not enough human hands, The country is betting that machines can fill the gap. The Shaoban was designed with two people in mind. The person using it gets a clean, safe, private experience. But the caregiver also gets something important. They no longer have to handle waste or wake up every time someone calls in the middle of the night. The machine takes the hardest, most unpleasant parts of the job. That leaves the human caregiver free to do the things machines cannot do, like talking, listening, and simply being there. But the Shaoban is only half the story. There is a completely separate Chinese effort that approaches the toilet problem from a totally different direction. And when you put the two together, the implications go far beyond elderly care, toilets that do not need pipes at all. While Yuan built a toilet that moves, other Chinese researchers have been working on something even more radical. They are building a toilet that does not need pipes at all. This effort started in 2011, when the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation launched what they called the Reinvent the Toilet Challenge. The foundation has poured more than $200 into the project so far. The goal is bold. Build toilets that can safely handle human waste without needing a sewer system, running water, or even electricity from the grid. 2 Chinese companies have been part of this effort from early on. One company uses tiny living organisms called bacteria to break down the waste, combined with special films that help clean the water. The other company uses bacteria plus chemical reactions powered by electricity to do the job. Both systems fit inside a single unit about the size of a regular toilet. They process waste on the spot and recycle the water back into the toilet for the next use. These are not just ideas on paper. They have been tested all over China in different climates and weather conditions. China's Academy of Agricultural Planning and Engineering helped run the tests along with the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs. The toilets were checked against a global standard called ISO 30500, the rulebook for toilets that are not connected to sewers. They have been tried out at parks, temples, and schools in China, and even at community washing blocks in Durban, South Africa. The reason this matters so much is almost hard to wrap your head around. According to UNICEF and the World Health Organization, as of 2024, about 4 billion people on Earth do not have safe ways to handle their waste. That is more than 4 out of every 10 people alive. About 354 million people have no toilet at all. The WHO says poor sanitation kills about 4 million people every single year. So what is happening in China is not just one invention. It is 2 separate efforts hitting the same problem from different sides. The Shaoban asks, what if the toilet did not have to stay in one place? The Gates Foundation toilets ask, what if the toilet did not need pipes or water at all? Both are attacking the same old idea that has gone unquestioned for 250 years. Think about what happens when you cut the toilet loose from the floor and the pipes. You do not just change a bathroom fixture, you change the way buildings are designed. If a toilet does not need plumbing, you can put a bathroom anywhere in a building. You can build houses without running pipes through every wall. You can build hospitals where patients never have to leave their beds. You can bring safe, clean sanitation to villages where digging trenches for sewer lines would cost more than every building in the town combined. You change the way cities are planned. Sewer systems are some of the most expensive things a city builds. They require digging up streets, laying miles of pipe, and building treatment plants that run 24 hours a day. If toilets can handle waste on their own, cities could skip all of that. You also change what is possible in places where plumbing simply cannot go. Disaster zones after a flood, where pipes are broken and water is off. Military bases in remote areas. Research stations in Antarctica. Future habitats on other planets. Music, where there are no sewers to connect to at all. The moment a toilet does not need pipes, it can go anywhere a person can go. The Shaoban and the pipe-free toilets are still early in their development, but for the first time in 250 years, serious engineers with real money are asking whether the flush toilet as we know it still makes music sense. The hard reality behind the promise. Let us be honest about where things stand. The Shaoban is a real machine that works, but it is also a first try from one company. And first tries always have rough edges. Nobody has published independent tests on how long the battery lasts on a single charge. There is no announced date for when it might go on sale outside of China. Some reports say users might still need a person to help them get onto the seat. That means it does not completely remove the need for a caregiver. It makes the job much easier, but it does not erase it. The price of about 4,000 US dollars is fair for what it does, but it is still a lot of money for many families, especially those already stretched thin by care costs.